Val Kilmer. For many, the name immediately conjures up images of a dashing Iceman in Top Gun or the fearless Bruce Wayne donning the iconic black cape as Batman. This American actor, who shot to fame with hits like Top Secret and Real Genius, went on to grace the silver screen in iconic roles that span genres, from Jim Morrison to the witty sharpshooter in Tombstone, and even returning in 2022's Top Gun Maverick. Off-screen, however, Kilmer's journey has been filled with challenges, personal and professional. From private battles with throat cancer, which dramatically impacted his voice, to the heartfelt revelations in his memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry, and the intimate look into his life in the documentary Val, Kilmer's life has been nothing short of a roller coaster. Facts First presents Celebrities Hate Him. Now Val Kilmer confirms the rumors. Difficult to work. Val Kilmer's fame as a Hollywood actor is undeniable. He's graced the screen with iconic roles that have earned both box office success and critical acclaim. Yet, just as bright as his star has shined, it's been dimmed by stories and claims about his behavior on and off set. His standing as a challenging coworker and the enemies he's made along the way is equally well documented. Following his successful portrayal in movies like The Doors and Batman Forever, Kilmer's demand came with a hefty price tag of $6 million per picture. But it wasn't just his salary that soared, so did whispers of his contentious behavior. Many in Hollywood became hesitant to work with him, irrespective of the box office allure he promised. It's one thing to be tagged as challenging in the industry, but quite another for these stories to see the light of day. Stories from sets and directors have painted a vivid picture of Kilmer's disposition. Richard Stanley, who briefly directed Kilmer in The Island of Dr. Moreau, recalls regular on-set disputes with the actor. The sentiments were echoed by the replacement director, John Frankenheimer, who minced no words when he said, quote, "I don't ever want to be associated with him again." Joel Schumacher, the director of Batman Forever, labeled Kilmer as childish and impossible, following intense altercations. This tumultuous relationship saw Kilmer being replaced by George Clooney in the movie's sequel. His behavior wasn't reserved for directors either. Castmates from various projects, like Neil Young from The Island of Dr. Moreau, have remarked on Kilmer's unpredictable and sometimes obnoxious conduct. There were also bizarre incidents, such as Kilmer's impromptu decision to eat a live locust on the set of Tombstone, which left many scratching their heads. Such acts further fueled the narratives of his enigmatic and challenging nature. However, not all accounts of Kilmer are negative. Directors like Oliver Stone and producers like James Jacks have spoken positively of working with him. In his own words during a Q&A session on Reddit, Kilmer admitted to prioritizing acting over other film aspects, which might have given the wrong impression to many. He acknowledged his past actions and expressed regret for the challenges he posed to film productions. In recent years, his battle with throat cancer and reflections in his memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry, suggest a change in his demeanor. The Island of Dr. Moreau. The 1990s brought an era of glitz, glamour, and big blockbuster hits, but it wasn't without challenges and blunders. Among the most talked about movie fiascos of the time was The Island of Dr. Moreau. Delving into this further, we find Kilmer's involvement in this adaptation of H.G. Wells' novel was at the epicenter of numerous controversies. It weaves a chilling tale of an island inhabited by eerie human-animal hybrids, all the brainchild of a crazed scientist. The richness of Wells' literature had already proven its cinematic appeal with successes like Invisible Man's reboot and the various iterations of The War of the Worlds. So an adaptation of Moreau, directed by a passionate Richard Stanley, seemed like an intriguing venture for New Line Cinema. The initial lineup boasted names like Bruce Willis as the lead, Edward Prendrick, Marlon Brando as the unhinged Dr. Moreau, James Woods, and others. But the film spiraled into what's now recounted as one of Hollywood's grandest misadventures, taking a toll on almost everyone involved, including Kilmer. Willis's sudden withdrawal from the film is attributed to potential marital complications leading up to his publicized divorce from Demi Moore. Enter Val Kilmer, riding the high of Batman Forever and holding the promise of box office success. But his introduction to the project brought immediate friction. Unlike Bruce Willis, Kilmer was not open to working the full shooting days Willis had originally agreed to. This pushed the team to reshuffle roles and led to the exit of James Woods. The on-set environment soured quickly, and much of this unrest was linked to Kilmer's interactions. From being aggressive towards his colleagues to staunchly rejecting Stanley's written dialogues, Kilmer's behavior became a consistent point of contention. With Kilmer stepping into the shoes of Montgomery, Rob Moreau, initially playing Pendrick in Kilmer's stead, left after a mere 2 days, unable to withstand the palpable on-set tensions. David Thewlis then became the 4th actor to attempt the role of Pendrick. This series of unfortunate events culminated in a swift decision by New Line to let go of Richard Stanley. In reflection, while the movie promised a gripping cinematic experience, behind-the-scenes challenges made it an unforgettable Hollywood debacle. Val Kilmer addresses his difficult reputation. At the peak of his career, tales of Kilmer's alleged difficult nature echoed across studios. While they persisted, he remained relatively silent on the matter. But 6 years ago, he took to Reddit in a candid Ask Me Anything session. During the session, he spoke transparently about the tumultuous production of The Island of Dr. Moreau, a period that seemed to exacerbate the industry's growing reservations about working with him. The movie's director, John Frankenheimer, had openly expressed his distaste for Kilmer, making statements that amplified the actor's deteriorating image. With Kilmer at the helm of significant projects, his conduct became synonymous with a leading man who seemed less concerned with the logistics and more engrossed in the craft of acting itself. Responding to a Reddit user's query about his perceived on-set personality flaws, Kilmer wrote, quote, "I didn't do enough hand-holding and flattering and reassuring to the financiers. I only cared about the acting, and that didn't translate to caring about the film or all that money." He elaborated, explaining that his love for risk-taking sometimes appeared as if he was careless about investors' returns, a perception he admitted was a mistake on his part. "I understand that now," he added. In an interview with the New York Times, Val delved deeper into his alleged bad reputation. He said, quote, "In an unflinching attempt to empower directors, actors, and other collaborators to honor the truth and essence of each project, I had been deemed difficult and alienated the head of every major studio. Recognizing the weight of his actions, he expressed regret for inadvertently hurting anyone in the process, emphasizing the journey each person undertakes in navigating their own morality." While controversies have long been a part of Kilmer's illustrious career, these revelations provided a rare and insightful perspective into his psyche, his dedication to his craft, and the struggles of reconciling one's passion with the demands of the film industry. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite role from Val Kilmer? Let us know in the comments section below.